Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. Welcome to Mathematics with Shahab Yaqub. In today's video, we are solving a specimen paper which is for this examination starting in few days' time. This is a paper 2, a calculator one, and now the time limit is 2 hours. So now it's 9:41 p.m. and we are starting. And let's read something from the instructions. Now, the first thing that is use black or dark blue pen. You may use a pencil for any diagram or graphs. You should use a scientific calculator where appropriate. You must show all necessary working clearly. Give non-exact numerical answers. If the answer is not exact, then you have to give correct to 3 SF or 1 decimal place for angles and degrees, unless a different level of accuracy is specified in the question. If it's in the question they specify that give the answer correct to the nearest integer, then give the answer correct to nearest integer. For pi, use either your calculator value or 3.142. I prefer using 3.142. Why? Because it's already in 4 significant figures. So that's the safest thing that you should use. So now 1 minute for reading it out. Then there is a list of formula which you people will be having from this session onwards. All the relevant formulas are over here. So 9:43, now I'm starting this paper, 9:43 p.m. Question number 1. Find the reciprocal of 0.35. I'll write 35 over 100 first of all. I'll simplify. 5 sevens are, 5 20s are. Therefore, the reciprocal, just write it over here. That is 20 over 7. No need to reduce it, which of course you cannot. You can write in mixed numbers if you want to, but since they're just asking the reciprocal, leave the answer as it is. Next question, that is simplification. 4 square is 16 minus 1.9 divided by the difference of 3.2 and 2.6, which is 0.6. So 16 minus 1 is 15, 15 minus 0.9, which is 14.1. So this is 14.1 divided by 0.6. That's the same thing as 141 over 6. So now let me write 141 on the inside, 6 on the outside, or let me do it the non-traditional way. So let me write this thing as 140 divided by 6, and this 1 over 6 is on the outside. So therefore, this is what? This is 2 into 70, 2 into 3. 70 over 3, that is 23 into 3 is 69. So this is 69, 1/3. That is this much, 70 over 3. Sorry, that is 23, 1/3. Let me correct myself. 3 into 23, 69 plus 1, 70 over 3 plus 1 over 6. Now let me add 1/3 and 1 over 6. 1 over 6 plus 2 over 6. So therefore, 3 over 6, which is half. So the answer is 23.5. That is how I have done this. I also have the answers ready from here. So there is no harm in just checking it out. Now, first of all, question number 1 is done. 20 over 7, 23.5. And I'll check after a while. So first thing, I've checked this thing. Now let me move on. The pie chart shows information about visitors to the museum on a particular day, and complete the table. So first of all, if I talked about adults, this is the angle. Let me choose another color, red color for adults. This is the angle 162. So 162 is the angle and the number of actual adults is 108. Then the second one is students. The angle is 72 degrees. The angle is 72 degrees. Let the actual number be S. And the third one, that is for children. So grab your calculator, do the subtraction. So 162 plus 72. So 162 plus 72, add it up and then subtract from 360. So therefore, 360, and I'm using the calculator with you people. So 360 minus 162 minus 72, this comes out to be 126 degrees. So this is 126 degrees, so that you have a feel on exactly how much time will it take to do the paper. So now this is 162 degrees. And this thing, let me write this thing as T over here. So now this information is given. What are we supposed to do? Find S, find T. Ratio proportion, very, very simple. So this is number and this is angle. Just write in short form. Just give the necessary detail. 108 corresponds to 162. S corresponds to 72. It's direct proportionality. S into 162 is 72 into 108. Use a calculator. S is 72 into 108. There is no need of writing the degree sign. That's not an issue. Divided by 162. So therefore, let me multiply it out. 72 into 108 divided by 162. This comes out to be exact 48. And this is 48. That's the value of S. So S is 48. Again, ratio proportion, number, angle. Number is the original one, 108 and 162. You can use the other one also. And this is, 162. Is it the same thing? Let me just double check. 162 plus 72. I just want to double check. 162, 126. I don't know. I just copied it wrong because I just had the feeling that I think I did something wrong. This is 126. I think I flipped it. So this is 126 degrees. So now 108 corresponds to 162. Therefore, T corresponds to 126. Again, direct proportionality, T into 162. That is 126 into 108. Therefore, T is 126 into 108 divided by 162. I'm showing all the necessary working. 126 into 108 divided by 162. Writing it out and then write the exact answer. So T comes out to be 84. And also write over here, T comes out to be 84. So now this is all good, all clear. So that is how this part is done. Now, question number 4. Now it says there are two people, no need to pronounce the name. There is this person that is, let's give it a red color, that is N, and this person is E. They share some money in this ratio. This is 7, this is E, this is 5, this is N. First thing first, find N share as the percentage of the total money. So that is N divided by N plus E. So therefore, this is N. What is N? N is 5 divided by 5 plus 7. That comes out to be 5 over 12. That is the ratio. And since we are looking for percentage of N, that is 5/12 of 100. Of means multiply. So that is 500 divided by 12. How much is that? 41 2/3. So 41 2/3. It's giving me 41.666 and so on. So remember, this thing is 2/3. So I just wrote it as a fraction because I don't have to worry about accuracy. Now the second part, it says find E's share as a percentage of N's share. So that is 5:7. So 5 divided by 7 into 100. So 500 divided by 7. This comes out to be 71.42. This is 71.42. And this is 857. 1, 2, 3 significant figures. So that is 71.4%. Over here, I'm not able to write this thing. Over here also, decimals were also good. That is 41.7%. That is also acceptable. Now it says N's share is 160. Work out S's share. So there is N, there is S. 5:7. This is 5. This is 7. N's share is 160. E's share, let it be E. Again, direct proportionality. 5E is 7 into 160. So therefore, 7 into 160 divided by 5. This comes out to be 224. So this comes out to be 224. So this is 224. Write one more step. E is 7 into 160 divided by 5. And since it's in dollars, dollars is already written for you. So now let's look at question number 5, a very simple question. Let me solve it in 2 different ways. So let me just make a nice square. That is one way. And let me make another square. That is the other way. So let me just shift this thing a little bit like this. Okay. So now in the first way, what we can do is that 5 bracket 3 minus 2x is equals to 17. So now this is open up the bracket. That is the first thing. So this 5 into 3 is 15. 5 into 2 is 10. Negative sign was there, equals to 17. Negative 10x is 17 minus 15, which is 2. Therefore, x is 2 over negative 10, which can be written as negative 1/5. This is one way. Very simple. Now, what is the other way? The other way is 5 bracket 3 minus 2x equals to 17, and do not open the bracket. So if you do not open the bracket, what do you do? Instead, you will divide. So 3 minus 2x is equals to 17 over 5. And then minus 2x or negative 2x is 17 over 5 minus 3. Negative 2x is 5 into 3 is 15. So this is 17 minus 15 divided by 5. This is negative 2x. Let me write over here. So negative 2x is equals to 2/5. Cancel off the 2 and the 2. I'm left with 1. So negative x is 1/5. Therefore, x is negative 1/5. That is the other way. So you can choose any which way to solve this particular question. So now 5 questions are done. Let's move to the next one. Number 6. It says the diagram shows a trapezium ABEF. So that's a trapezium ABEF. Let me highlight few colors. That is blue. That is red. That is green, because I need all this information. Then there is this purple thing. And then all these sides are equal. So let me label all of them in red color. Now it says the diagram shows a trapezium joined to a square. ABC is a straight line. AB is equals to 7. AF is to BE is 3 is to 2. Let me write over here. AF to BE is 3 is to 2. That is the ratio of AF to BE. And these two are parallel sides because it's a trapezium. This is vertical. This is also 90. The area of the square is 32. Area of square. What's the name of the square? BCDE. BCDE is equals to 32 centimeters square. Therefore, if I talk about EB, square is 32 and EB is root 32. I'm working in the exact form. So now EB is the same thing as BC. It's the same thing as DC. It's the same thing as ED. Common sense, that's a square. So EB is this much. Calculate the area of the trapezium. Now I need AF. So now this is the first piece of information that I have. This is the second piece of information that I used. Got it? And now the third piece of information, I use it over here. That is AF to BE. AF to BE, that is 3 is to 2. BE or EB, it's the same thing. This is AF over root 32 is 3 over 2 root 32. So therefore, I have to take this to the other side. Therefore, AF is 1.5 root 32. That is the third thing that I got. Now, we have all these things. For area of, are they asking for area of trapezium? That is area of trapezium ABEF. ABEF. That is half sum of parallel sides, multiplied with height. So AF is 1.5 root 32. This is root 32. This height is 7. So this is half root 32 plus 1.5 root 32 into 7. So this is half. This is 1.5, which is 3 over 2 root 32. This is 1 root 32. This is 1.5 root 32. That is 5 over 2. Not 3 over 5, 5 over 2. Into 7. Now at this point, use a calculator. So 5 into 7, that is 35. So this is 35 over 4 root 32. So let me use my calculator. 32, hold for a second. That is 32, the square root. Got this answer. Multiplying with 35 divided by 4. This comes out to be 49.497. 49.497. And this is 1, this is 2, this is the third significant figure. This is the third one, which is affected by the fourth one. So because of this, this will change. So this will be 49.5 centimeters square. So question number 6, no harm in checking the answer. They have given us different answers. Look at all these answers. 49.5, that is what I have given. You can also leave the answer in the square root form, but I think let's stick with decimals, and this is perfect. So now let's move ahead and let's start with question number 7. It says the table shows the relative frequency of a bus arriving at this town early and arriving at Milltown on time. So now what exactly do they have? They have the relative frequency for early, they have the relative frequency for on time, and the relative frequency for late. So sum of all these frequencies, since it's just like a probability. So the sum of probabilities, sigma means added up, should add up to 1. This is 10%. This is 55%. And this is X%. So therefore, let me write over here X%. So X comes out to be 35% in decimals. That's 0.35. Got the idea? Complete the table. So this is 0.35. And during 1 week, 200 buses arrive in this town. So now there are 2 ways of doing it. Let me teach you both the ways, which I've already done in regular classes. So first thing is that to arrive early, that is this 10%. So 10% means 1 out of 10 or 10 out of 100. So therefore, original and then early. So out of 100, that is 10 or 10 out of 100. I can also write this. That means out of 200, how many will arrive early? Let me call this as M. So M comes out to be 20. That is basic ratio proportion. Other method is this formula, relative frequency into number will give me expected number, into the total number will give me expected number, expected value. So this expected value should be 200 into 0.10, which comes out to be 20. So you can use ratio proportion, you can use this. All good, all clear? This thing, calculate exterior angle of a regular hexagon. So let me do it in 2 ways. The first method is the sum of a 6-sided polygon. So that is 6 minus 2, n minus 2 into 180. Since it's regular, therefore each angle is 6 minus 2 into 180 degrees divided by the number of sides. So 4 over 6, that's 2/3. 2/3 of 180 is 120 degrees. That's one thing. This is interior angle. This is about interior angle. And then we should know, let me erase it first. Let me erase this thing also. Let me push it to the side. We should also know interior angle plus exterior angle should always add up to 180 degrees. So therefore, 120 plus exterior angle is 180 degrees. Therefore, exterior angle is 60 degrees. This is one method. Let me highlight this. This is method number one. Now let me focus on method number two. I need this thing. Method number two is sum of exterior angle irrespective of the sides. It's always 360 degrees. Since it's a regular hexagon, 6 sides, therefore each angle should be equal. That is 360 divided by 6, that is 60 degrees. So some people, they were asking me about the polygon video. So here is one example that will help you out. And the rest of the question is still there. So this is method number two. And keep in mind that the time that I'll take, that includes the narration, the explanation, more than one method that I'm doing. And then you'll be able to gauge how much time you should take. The diagram shows part of a regular hexagon. So that is a regular hexagon and part of a regular polygon. So we don't know how many sides this polygon has. So this is the polygon like this. All the sides are equal. Regular means all sides are equal. And over here, this is a regular hexagon like this. And now I just found out that the exterior angle is 60. So therefore, this exterior angle is 60 degrees. Therefore, interior angle is 120. Therefore, interior angle is 120. So since exterior angle is 60, therefore, interior angle is 120 degrees. All good? If this is 100, this is 120, that's 220, 360 minus 220, how much is that? 140 degrees. So this is 140 degrees and this is a regular polygon. That means I can still write 140 over here. Therefore, this is 40 degrees. So therefore, this exterior angle of a regular polygon is 40 degrees. Sum of exterior angle is 360 degrees. Therefore, number of sides is 360 divided by each angle. That is how much? 9. So there are 9 sides. That's the number of sides. Got it? I can even use this formula and work it out. Alternatively, 140 degrees, each interior angle is 140 degrees. Let the sides be n minus 2 into 180 degrees divided by n is 140. 180 minus 360, 180n minus 360 is 140n. 40n is 360. Therefore, n comes out to be 9. There are 9 sides. So let me write 9 over here. This part, set notation, something very basic. X is an odd number. So A is what? What are the odd numbers? Let me choose. So this is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. So all these are odd numbers. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. The next one, that is over here, which is a multiple of 3. Multiple of 3 is 3. Multiple of 3 is 6. Multiple of 3 is 9. Multiple of 3 is 12. So therefore, B, that is a multiple of 3, which is 3, 6, 9, and 12. List the elements of A intersection B. What is common? 3 is common. So let me write over here. 3 is common. 9 is common. I think these are the only 2 ones that's common. So A intersection B is 9, 3 and 9. Bracket 3 and 9. If they would have asked for number of elements in A intersection B, then we would give the answer as 2. So this is some extra knowledge that I'm providing. Use set notation to describe 2, 4, 8, 10. Now 2, 4, 8, 10. Let me first write down A union B. So A union B is take all without repetition. So I'll be taking 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, and 12. So now what is left? 1 is taken, 2 is left. So now 1 is taken. Let me write this thing. 2 is left. Let me use another color. That is different. I think let's use green color. So 2 is left, 4 is left, 8 is left, 10 is left. 2 is left, 4 is left, 8 is left, 10 is left. So I just did some observation. So basically A union B whole complement is 2, 4, 8, and 10. Don't forget to write over here A union B, the whole thing complement. Standard form. Write this thing in the standard form. So just play with the zeros, go 1 unit right, 2 units right, 4.73. That is 4.73 into 10 raised to power of negative 2. This thing, just make this the subject. That is 2.7 into 10 power 4 divided by 2.25 into 10 raised to power of negative 4 is C into 10 raised to power of D. So what is 2.7 divided by 2.25 into 10 raised to power of 4 minus 4? That is C times 10 power D. So 270 divided by 225. I'm just thinking without decimals. That's 1.2. So this is 1.2. This is 10 power 8. This is C into 10 power D. So C is what? C is 1.2. D is what? The power, which is 8. Question number 11. Talia invests $1,500. Let me highlight. She invests $1,500 in a saving accounts for 4 years. The account pays simple interest at a rate of 216 per year. This and this has to match. Calculate the total interest she receives at the end of 4 years. Simple interest formula, I is equals to PRT over 100. P is what? 1,500. R is what? 216, that is 13 over 6. Write it as fractions. And T is what? 4. And division by 100 is multiplication by 1 over 100. First simplify, then use a calculator. Simplified. And you can simplify further. 2 2s are 4, 2 3s are 6, 3 1s are 3, 3 5s are 15. 5 into 13. How much is that? 65. So that is 65 that I'm getting. Are the zeros all gone? Yes. So that is $65. That is the answer that I have received. So 11A is there. Let me check the answer for 11A and 130. Did I make a mistake of multiplication? Oh, I forgot this 2. So now don't forget the 2. So 5 into 10, that is this thing. Now too much overconfidence is also bad. So that is $130 and this is $130. Do not hasten. And yes, you can use a calculator right away. That's also your choice. Sometimes I get carried away with paper one. Second part, it says this person, what's the name? Caie, who is after pronunciation, don't waste your time. Caie also invests $1,500 in a savings account. The account pays compound interest at a rate of R% per year. At the end of 5 years, the value of the investment is this. Calculate the value of R. So we have this formula. A is P bracket 1 plus R over 100 raised to power of N. Over here, this is the total investment. Over here, this is only interest. Over here, this is the total. This is the principal value. And this is the rate, and this is the number of years. So this is 1825. This is 1500. This is 1 plus R over 100 raised to power of 5. Now, let me give you some unique background which people tend to forget That is, if I say a square is 9, therefore a is square root of 9. Forget the plus minus sign for right now. The opposite of square is square root, which means raised to power of half. Agreed? 9 raised to power of half. Let me write something else. B cube is 64. Therefore, B is 64 cube root, which is the same thing as 64 raised to power of 1/3. If I say C raised to power of 4 is 16, therefore C is 16 raised to power of 1/4, which will come out to be 2. Correct? The same knowledge will be used over here. So now, first of all, let me write down 1825 over 1500 is 1 plus R over 100 raised to power of 5. Do not use a calculator at the moment. 1825 over 500, 1500 raised to power of 1/5. Raised to power of 1/5 is 1 plus R over 100. Now grab your calculator and evaluate this. So 1825 divided by 1500, let it come out to be in decimal 1.21666. Raise it to a power of 0.2. Instead of fraction, write 0.2. So therefore, 1 plus R over 100 comes out to be 1.0400. R over 100 is coming out to be 1.040, that is 0.0400. Therefore, R multiply by 100, so 1 or 2, that is 4.00%, and that's the answer. So very important question. The first tricky question, I would say, is this thing. There it is over here. There is the answer. I would round it off, correct to 3 significant figures because it was a rounded value. All good. So now let's have a look at this question. The first part, that is about simplification. There is no equal sign. It is simply simplify. Keep in mind, it's not an equation. So do not insert any equal sign. So now what do we have? We have 5x squared. We have another x squared. We have an x term. We have an x term. So simplify the x's separately. Simplify the x squared separately. So first of all, 5x squared minus x squared, that is 4x squared. Negative 7x plus 6x, that is negative x. And I can write the answer as it is, 4x squared minus x. Now it's giving me 2 marks. I think I should also take common. So yes, go all the way till taking common. So x common, this is 4x and minus 1. Always, no matter how simple it seems, it's a good idea to double check. So x into 4x, that's 4x squared. X into negative 1, that is negative x. So the better way of writing this thing as is x bracket 4x minus 1. I think this is the complete solution. And my thinking is 100% guaranteed because it says simplify. Therefore, simplify to the maximum, to the ultimate. That is what you should be doing. Now, the next question, that is about some division. 4x divided by 3y, and division becomes multiplication. So that is 9y divided by 2a. As long as you are writing 2 brackets together, even if you don't put the multiplication sign, no issue. And I prefer not to put it because of this x over here, because things gets confusing. People, they themselves gets confused. Now, this is y over here. This is y over here. This gets cancelled out. This is 3 ones are. This is 3 threes are. And that's it. So 4 into 3. But before that, one other thing is left. What is that? That is 2 ones are, 2 twos are. So we have 2, we have x, we have 3. That is 6x at the top. And what is left at the bottom? That is a. And that is how this question is completed. It says in June, let me highlight it. So now this is for the month of June. Fuel for a bus costs 0.32 dollars per kilometer. In June, a bus travels 1800 kilometer. Calculate the total cost. Simple multiplication. So this is 0.32 dollars per kilometer multiplying with 1800 kilometer. Kilometer cancels. Let me grab my calculator. 0.32 into 1800. This comes out to be 576. So right over here also $576. Right over here $576. Now we are talking about the month of July. In July, the fuel for the bus costs 7.5% more per kilometer than in June. In July, the bus travels 1850. Calculate the difference in the total cost of the fuel between June versus July. Now, first of all, I can either increase the rate and then multiply by 1850, or I can multiply by 1850 and then increase the rate. So first of all, 0.32. The old rate multiplied with 1850, let me get this. 0.32 into 1850, that comes out to be $592. Now, June versus July, something that costed $100 is now increased by 7.5, that is 107.5. That means something which is according to June rate, this is according to June rate, 592. So therefore, this rate should be W cross multiply. W into 100 is 592 into 107.5. Make W the subject. 592 into 107.5 divided by 100, we are getting 636.4. 636.4. Dollars, that's for July. The difference is what? 636.4 minus 576 minus 576. This comes out to be $60.4. This is $60.4. This comes out to be $60.4. So now, people, let's have a look at this question, which is now question number 14. The question says, on a map, the distance between two cities is 7.3 centimeter. The actual distance between the two cities is 365 kilometer. The scale of this map is 1:n. Find the value of n. A very technical question. First of all, keep in mind, we have kilometers, we have meters, we have centimeter. It's a question about conversion. It's a question about ratio proportion. Kilometer to meter, multiply with 1000. Meter to centimeter, multiply with 100. In other words, kilometer all the way to centimeter. So how many zeros we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. That is how you do the multiplication. So first of all, let me write this thing. That is 365 into 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros centimeter. Now, why do we need this thing? We need this thing because unless and until the units are the same, I cannot have a ratio. So therefore, I'll write this thing. That is over here, map. This is actual. Map is 7.3 centimeter. Actual is 365 into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0 centimeter. Therefore, on the map, if it's 1 unit, the centimeters have already cancelled out. So if it's 1 unit, how much actual on the map? So let me write over here n. So therefore, when I cross multiply, so n into 7.3, that is 365 into 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. Therefore, n is 365 into 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros divided by 7.3. So this comes out to be 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 zeros. So it's all about the zeros in this question. Let me just double check the answer. This is question number 14, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. That is how we get this answer. So all good, all clear. Now let's look at part B. Let me draw a few lines over here. So first of all, I'm drawing a red line between A and B. That is the first thing. I'm drawing, let me just shift it a bit. Okay. I'm drawing a blue line between A and C. I'm drawing a green line between B and C, that is for the triangles. And for the north axis, that is a vertical line going like this. For the north axis, that's a vertical line going like this. Okay. Now it says the bearing of A from B is 0, 7, 0. So this is A from B. That means the north should be over here and go clockwise. And this is 0, 7, 0. Find the bearing of B from A. The first thing first, if this is 0, 7, 0, let me draw a few lines over here like this, two parallel lines, and a line cutting them like this. So if this angle is A, then this angle is 180 minus A. These are called what? These are called interior angles. So therefore, this is 110 degrees. That's the first thing. And it says, find the bearing of B from A. So let me use a red marker, B from A. So now the north is at A. Go clockwise till you reach the line that connects the 2 points. That is this red line over here. So now this is 110 degrees. So this is 360 minus 110. Let me write over here, 360 minus 110. That comes out to be 250 degrees. That comes out to be 250 degrees. Got the idea? So now this thing is done. The next thing, the bearing of C from A is 195. Now C from A is this one. Let me highlight it. This is C, this is A, this is all the way up till here. So let me draw this thing as a blue line like this. C from A, it's 195. Now if it's 195, there are two ways to do this. Either I should play around with the whole 360 degrees. This is 110. This whole thing is 195. So I can find this one. That's one approach. The other approach is, let me mark this thing as 15 degrees. Why? Because up till here, it's 180 degrees. So out of 180, out of 195, if I subtract 180, I get 50. So now this angle over here is how much? So let me add 110, 110 plus 15, plus this unknown angle, which is BAC. This adds up to 180 degrees. So 125. So therefore, BAC comes out to be 55 degrees. This thing is coming out to be 55 degrees. Now, what else is there? BCA is 113. We also know this. This is 113 degrees. So now I'm interested in finding the small angle. Let's call it theta. So therefore, theta plus 113 plus 55 equals to 180. And this is theta plus 113 as I'm treating it like a paper one question. That is 125 degrees because 180 minus 55 is this thing. And therefore, theta is 12 degrees. So this is 12 degrees. That is the small angle over here. Now, what are they asking? They are asking the bearing of C from B. So this is C, this is B, north is there, go all the way up till here. So that is 70 plus 12, that comes out to be 082 because that's how a bearing is written. So now this is all done, all clear. P is the point 410 and Q is the point minus 85. Find the coordinates of the midpoint. P is 4, 10, Q is minus 8, 5. Midpoint, let's call it M. So M is the average, 4 plus negative 8 divided by 2, 10 plus 5 divided by 2, minus 4 over 2, minus 2, and 15 over 2, that is 7.5. The line L has this equation. Let's move on. The line L has this equation such and such. Find the equation of line parallel to L. Y is equals to mx plus c. M is 6. If it's parallel, M is 6. Passes through the point 0, 3. 0, 3. When x is 0, y is 3. This 3 is the y-intercept. Y is equals to 6x plus 3. Write down the gradient of a line perpendicular to line L. For perpendicular, use the concept of negative reciprocal. That is negative 1 over 6. Find the integer values of x that satisfy this inequality. 4, solve it separately. -1 is greater than or equal to 4 minus 2x, and 4 minus 2x is lesser than 8. Take it to the other side. That is 2x is lesser than or equal to 4 plus 1 is 5. X is lesser than or equal to 5 over 2. Over here, minus 2x is lesser than 8 minus 4 is 4. And now inequality will flip because the coefficient is negative. It doesn't make a difference whether the other side is positive or negative, but over here inequality will flip. So therefore, x is greater than 4 over minus 2 is minus 2. Now let me draw a number line over here. Over here, this is -2. And this is an empty circle because it's just greater. This is 5 over 2. This is a solid circle. And let me go in this direction. We are looking for integer values. -2, -1. Let me make it bigger. -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 2.5. So what integer values lie over here? Greater than -2 is -1, 0, 1, and 2. So -1, 0, 1, and 2, and they are find the integer values. This thing, all good, all clear? Let's move on. Question 18. Find 3 inequalities that define the shaded, unshaded region R. First thing first, this inequality, this equation right over here. First, let me label it. First one. Then this is the next one. This is dotted. Then the third one, that's the green one. All good? So now, first of all, the red one, L1. So hold for a second. This is L1, that's the red one. Blue one is L2, green one is L3. L1, it's a vertical line, x is equals to -4. X is equals to -4. First, the equation, and then I'll convert it into inequality. L2, the blue one, you can see right away if you want to, because it's just giving you 1 mark each. So the gradient is 1. Change in y over change in x is 1. Y-intercept is 1. So gradient is 1. Y-intercept is 1. Y is equals to x plus 1. For L3, what's the gradient? It's going down, negative slope. This is 2 over 4, which is -1/2. So gradient is -1/2, and y-intercept is 2. And also this is dotted. This is solid. This is solid. Now this is the equation. This is the equation that's coming right away. Y is equals to -1/2 x plus 2. Now keep in mind that it is necessary that if there is only x, it should be on the left-hand side, y should be on the left-hand side, y should be on the left-hand side. X can also go on the left, but it's just better to write y on the left. There is no y, therefore x has to be on the left. Let's keep the rule like this. Now it's to the right of the red line. So it's to the right. For the blue line, this thing is above the blue line. And for the green line, it's below. So green line is below. Blue line is above. Red line is right. So this is x is greater than or equal to -4 because it's solid. Y is below, lesser than or equal to -1/2 x plus 2 because it's below. It's above. Y is greater than or equal to x plus 1. Actually, it's dotted, so only greater. So let me highlight it again. Only greater because it's dotted. Solid, lesser than or equal to because it's below. Right, solid, greater than or equal to. So let's double check. X is greater than or equal to -4. And then the green line has a negative gradient. Now they have written it in this form. No issue. Just focus on this. They have got rid of the fraction. That's not our headache. And this is y is greater. That is the answer. Let's move on. Functions. The basic function. Fx nowadays, since it's part of the new syllabus, so they will be asking this a lot. fx is this, gx is this, g of negative 8. That is 7 plus 2 times negative 8. Write all the steps. 7 times 6, 7 minus 16. So this comes out to be negative 9. This comes out to be negative 9. G of f of 5. First evaluate f of 5. That is 2 into 5 square minus 3 into 5. 25 into 2, that's 50. 3 into 5 is 15. 50 minus 15 is what? 35. G of f of 5 means this thing over here. G of 5 is 35. That goes over here. So basically, you are evaluating G of 35. Now, what is G of 35? That is 7 plus 2 times 35. 70 plus 7, 77. G inverse of x, let y is equals to gx. Therefore, G inverse x is equals to y. So y is equals to 7 plus 2x. Y minus 7 divided by 2 is equals to x, but x is G inverse y. So x is G inverse y. We have a habit of writing in terms of x. So we will write G inverse x as x minus 7 divided by 2. Find f of x minus 6. Fx, let me write it again. Fx is what? Fx is 2x square minus 3x. That is 2x square minus 3x. I can write this as 2f of x minus 6. That is 2x minus 6 whole square minus 3 times x minus 6. And let also write this thing like a normal f. All good? So basically, wherever there is x square and x, there is x square and x. Just take care of this because the working is so simple. Sometimes you make these mistakes. So this is 2x square minus 12x plus 36. This is minus 3x plus 18. This is 2x square minus 24x plus 72 minus 3x plus 18. So this is 2x square minus 24 minus 3 is minus 27x. 72 plus 18 is what? 90. So this is 2x square minus 27x plus 90. 2x square minus 27x plus 90. This is correct. This is correct. This is correct. All good. Now let's move to this part. It's not over yet. Use the quadratic formula. Solve fx minus 6 equals to 0. What is fx? 2x square minus 3x. 2x square minus 3x minus 6 equals to 0. A lot of people, they ask this question, when to use quadratic formula, when to use factorization. In most cases, we use factorization where you know the answer is not factorizable. If the expression, if the equation quadratic is not factorizable, then you have to use quadratic formula. So this is ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. Therefore, a is 2, b is negative 3, c is negative 6. Let me evaluate b squared minus 4ac separately. So this is minus 3 whole square minus 4 into 2 into negative 6. This is 9. 2 into 6 is 12. 12 into 4 is 48 plus 48. So this comes out to be 57. So now let me write it. X is equals to minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac, the whole thing over 2a. You have to show the plugged in values. That is minus of minus 3. That becomes plus 3 plus minus square root of 57 divided by 2 times a. A is what? 2. Now write either or. Either or. 3 plus root 57 divided by 4. 3 minus root 57 divided by 4. Use a calculator. Work in 4 significant figures. They have shown all the working. Also, all these things are given over here. Just focus on this. Negative 1.14 and 2.64. Negative 1.14 and 2.64. These are the answers given to 3SF. So first of all, you should use the 4SF value. You should use the 4SF value and then at the end, round it off. Got the idea? Now let me charge my Apple Pencil a bit. Now let's read this question. And let me just double check a few things. It's all good, all clear. Okay, so a lot of people are over here. Perfect. So now it says, In this question, all the lengths are given in meters. The diagram shows the position of ABCD on a football pitch. Show that angle CAD is 86.2. So let's work it out. So we have two sides. We have this side, we have this side, and we have this third side. And they're asking for CAD. So they are asking for this particular angle over here. Let CAD be denoted as CAD. Okay, no issue. So we have to use cosine rule from this perspective. 20 square is 10 square plus 18 square minus bracket 2 into 10 into 18 into cosine of CAD. That is CAD. First simplify, 400 minus 100. What is 18 square? I think it is 3 something, 4 something. So therefore, this is 18 into 18, that is 324. Divided by negative 2 into 18, 36, negative 360. That is cosine of CAD. Now, 400 minus 100, 300. 300 minus 324, negative 24, negative 360 is cosine of CAD. The negative cancels out. And then you get CAD as cosine inverse of 24 divided by 360. Shift cosine equals 86.177. 86.177. Correct to 1 dp. So therefore, 86.2 degrees. If you use it for further calculation, use the unrounded value, at least 4 significant figures or 2 decimal places as the case of angle in degrees. Got the idea? Just a reminder that cosine inverse, not this thing. Cosine inverse of positive will give me acute angle. And cosine inverse of negative will give me obtuse angle for O-level maths purposes. For sine inverse of positive will give me acute. But sine inverse of negative will also give me acute. Actually, sine inverse, or let me write it like this. Sine of obtuse is also positive. So it will be used on the next page. This thing is done. Actually, this page. Calculate the obtuse angle ACB. So now I'm interested in ACB. So let me highlight this. That's one length. Then there is this dark length over here. Something like that. And now I'm interested in ACB, this angle. Okay. Now, this angle is opposite of 35. 27 is opposite of 18. So, sine rule. So, sine C over 35. Let me write sine C over 35 is the same thing as sine 27 degrees over 18. So, therefore, sine C is 35 over 18 multiplying with sine of 27 degrees. So 30 sine of 27, let me evaluate this first. Sine of 27 multiplying with 35 dividing by 18. This is coming out to be 0.8827. 0.88275. That is sine of C. First, it will give me the acute angle. That is sine inverse of 0.88275. Shift sine equals 61.977. Angle C is 61.977 degrees. We know that sine of 180 degrees minus theta is the same thing as sine of theta. If this is obtuse, this is acute, it's the same. That means 180 minus 61.977. So minus 180, this is coming out to be 118.022. Obtuse angle, I think again 1 decimal place. So therefore, this is 118.0. Why? Because sine of 118.022 is also giving me the same thing, 0.88275. I'm referring to this thing. So there were two options. The calculator will give you only one option. In order to get obtuse, subtract from 180. So now I have found this angle also. All done. Now the last part, and that is for 5 marks. A player runs directly from B to D in a time of 5.3 seconds. Find the average speed. So we know that average speed is distance divided by time taken. Now, which distance are they talking about? BD. We already have the time. We need the distance, BD. So in order to get BD, what should I do? So let me join from B to D like this. Okay, that thing is joined. And I have which measurements I have? I have 10. Let me write over here. I have this thing 10. I have this thing 35. If I have this angle, which I can, because this is 118.0 degrees, this is 27 degrees. 118 plus 27 minus 180, that gives me 35 degrees. And this thing is 86.2, which is 86.177, 86.177. So now focus on this. Again, cosine rule. This time for finding distance, I have this length, I have this length, I want to find this distance, I have this angle. So 86.177, let me add it up. 86.177 plus 35, this is 121.177. So this angle is 121.177. Let me find cosine of this angle. So cosine of this angle, 121.177, because this will come out to be negative. So 121.177 cosine equals negative 0.5177. We will use this value. So just calculate it from before. So therefore, BD square is equals to 10 square, 35 square minus bracket 2 into 10 into 35 into cos of 121.177. Now look at the working. This is 100. How much is 35 square? 35 into 35, that's 1225. This minus on the outside, this thing is negative because this angle is obtuse. So cosine of obtuse is negative. That makes it positive. So now let me evaluate this thing. 0.5177 into 2 into 10 into 35. This comes out to be 362.39. 362.39. All good? Now add it all up. So now this thing, 362.39 plus 100 plus 1225. This comes out to be 1687.39. 1687.39. That is BD squared. Therefore, BD, take the square root. 4 significant figures, 41.08. 41.08 meters. Therefore, the average speed is 41.08 divided by 5.3 divided by 5.3. That is 7.751. 7.75 meter per second. So over here, yeah, there is the answer. The first one is the most exact, and that's the answer. Now let's move on. This is also a nice question. Now we started at what time? So let's just double check. We started at, where is it? 9:43. And this is 10:46. So 9:43 till 10:46, I think we have done approximately like 21 questions or something in this time. And let's see how much more time will we take. So I think this is question 21. So we have done 20 questions. Okay, not bad. So now f is inversely proportional to the cube of g. English is a must. F is inversely proportional to cube of g. F is equals to K over G cube. That is the equation. F is half, G is 3. So F is half. Instead of decimal, I'll write fraction. G is 3. So therefore, half is K over G is 3 cube. So therefore, half of 3 cube is equals to K. So this is 27 over 2. So F is 27 over 2G cube. So that is the first thing. They have written in decimals, perfectly good, no issue. Then it says G is increased by 100%. G is increased by 100%. That means G, increase of 100% of G. That is what we are doing. That is G plus 100 over 100 of G. That is G plus G, which is 2G. That is what we mean by a 100% increase, double. Find the percentage change in F. So now let me write the equation. F is equals to 27 over 2G cube. Now when G, now find F when G is 2G. So now basically over here, you are plugging 2G. So F is 27 divided by 2 is already there into 2G, the whole thing cube. That is 27 divided by 2 cube is 8. 8 into 2 is 16G. Got the idea? Now, if you want to go in the decimal mode, you can do it. I think since it's paper 2, let's go it. So therefore, this is 13.5 over G cube. And this is 13.5 divided by 8. 27 over 16 is the same thing. 27 divided by 16. That is 1.6875. This is 1.6875 over G. G cube is there. G cube is there. It's in terms of G. Now, find the percentage change in F. So the change in F is how much? That is 13.5 minus 1.6875. Just ignore the G cube because that will be taken common out. Divided by G cube, let me write it as this. So minus 13.5, that comes out to be 11.1825. That is 11.1825 over G cube. Therefore, the percentage change in F, that is 11.1825 over G cube divided by the original, which is 13.5 over G cube into 100. When you do the flipping, the G cube will cancel out. 11.1825 divided by 13.5, that comes out to be 0.875 or 87.5%. So this answer is coming out to be 87.5%. And since it reduces, so therefore, I should also write that there is a decrease. Why? Because they were saying G increases. It's inversely proportional. Therefore, F decreases. Just have a good look at it. You can work in fractions. We are finally on the second last and the last question of this paper. So let's solve these two. First of all, it says the area of a triangle. We are talking about a triangle. The area of a triangle is 12 meters, correct to the nearest square meter. And then it says the base of the triangle is 5.7, correct to the nearest 0.1 meter. So let me just check the recording thing. It's all got all clear. So now calculate the smallest possible height of the rectangle. Now, first of all, let me talk about this thing. When we talk about nearest square meter, basically we are talking about nearest integer. So for nearest integer, in order to find the upper bound, lower bound, we add and subtract 0.5. For the nearest one decimal place, 0.1 unit, which is another name for one decimal place. That is right over here. we add and subtract 0.05. So we have 12, the lower class boundary versus, or the lower limit versus upper class boundary. Over here, 5.7 lower class boundary plus the upper class boundary. So 12 minus 0.5, 11.5, 12 plus 0.5, 12.5, 5.70. Write it this way, so it's easier to think. That is 5.65 and this is 5.75. So now make sure that you write on one side comfortably like this. So far, so good. Now we know that area of triangle, it's half base into height. That means 2 times area divided by base is the height. Now, this is the formula that connects the two. So this is how it's connected. Now, when we are talking about division, in order to find the maximum versus the minimum, they're asking for smallest. Let me work for both of them. Minimum, least, smallest. These are the 3 words that they use. Maximum, greatest, and largest. These are the 3 words that they use. When we are talking about division, let's say if I'm talking about something C over D. So the maximum will happen when C is max and D is min. And the minimum overall fraction will happen if C is min and D is max. So now, even though they have not asked over here, let me just show you the working for some future question. And over here, if I'm talking about height, H is 2A over B, H is 2A over B. So for maximum value of H, that is 2 times A maximum divided by B minimum. For H minimum, that is 2A minimum divided by B maximum. So now first, let me evaluate this. So what is the maximum value of A? I'll simply write it. The maximum value of A is 12.5 and this is 12.5 and the minimum value of B is 5.65. Over here in the exam, they have only asked for this. So that is 2 times 11.5, which is 23 divided by 5.75. So let's use a calculator. The minimum value is coming out to be 4. And let me, no harm in calculating the other value, which is 2 times 12.5 divided by 5.65. This comes out to be 4.42, correct to 3 significant figures. And this one is exact. So that's how this particular question is done and dusted. Let's move to the next one. Now, this is something that people fear the most. So let me make a box over here on what are the different things that I'll be working with. So let me make few boxes, a red box, a blue box, a green box or a green circle, and a purple box, something like this. So now let me read the question first. The diagram shows a frustum. The frustum has a base radius 0.6, height 0.48. The vertical height of the original cone is this. Calculate the total surface area of the frustum. So the shape that you see over here, that's the frustum. So that happens when a large cone, we have a large cone and we snap off part of it. So whatever is left, that is called the frustum. So now I think over here, I have to use the formulas naturally. So what formulas are there? They are written in the formula booklet, but I remember them. So that is the curved surface area. That is pi r L, where L is the slant height. And area of circle, we know that is pi r square. If it's not about volume, I don't need to worry about volume. That's good. Similarity. I would be needing similarity. For example, I would be needing height 1 is to height 2 is base 1 is to base 2, something like this. I might be needing Pythagoras theorem. So that is hypotenuse square is equals to base square. Let me write it properly. Base square plus height, vertical height square. And what else is there? I think that's about it. If there is anything else, then I'll write it over here. So now the very first thing, what do we need? We need the total surface area. Now the question is there any formula for the frustum? The answer is no. For the surface area or something like that, yes, this is a circular area. Let me highlight this. So over here, this thing is a circle like this. This we can find very easily. That's not an issue. Over here, this base is also a circle. Now, what is the missing piece of the puzzle? The missing piece of the puzzle is the radius over here. So let me write a center. Let me draw it like this. Let me write radius over here. And what else is missing? What else is missing? I have this thing, which is the height. So let me draw a diagram. And let me draw a green height like this. Let me draw a purple radius like this. Let me draw a reddish slant height like this. So now this is height. This is radius. This is slant height. This is 90 degrees. So that is the right angle triangle that I'll use. Now, first of all, let me get the height. So we are talking about similarity. So the first thing is similarity. Step one. If I talk about similarity, so I am comparing this height. Let me get my green color. That is this height to this height. And then if I'm talking about the base, so I am having this radius over here with this radius like this. So basically, if you want me to draw a triangle, I can, big one, and then a base like this, and then another one like this, and just like that. So it's not a scale diagram, just to give you the idea. So now this is 1.44. This is h. And what is h? We have h. That's 1.44 minus 0.98. So h is 1.44 minus 0.98. That is how much? 0.48, something like that. 144 minus 48, that is 0.96. That is the difference. So this h is actually not unknown. This is 0.96. And then the big radius is how much? 0.6. The small radius is r. So now let's compare these two. So the first thing, r is 2.6. That's the same thing as 0.96 over 1.4. Use a calculator and r comes out to be 0.4 meters. So this is step number one that I have done. Step number one is similarity. And before that, there was a subtraction. So let me just write 1.96 over here. Now the second thing is, I have a lot of space. So step two, that is using Pythagoras theorem twice. Why? Because let me copy this thing and let me write it over here. Let me copy this thing and let me write it over here, because there are two different, what you call, the hypotenuse. So let me just grab this thing. Let me join it like this. Let me join it like this. Over here like this. Over here like this. So now when I do this calculation, get your calculators ready over here. And let's just work it out. So first of all, let me write this thing. This is arc length small. Sorry, not the arc length, the slant height. L is the slant height and this is big. So L is slant height. And now it's an application of Pythagoras theorem. So this is Pythagoras theorem and so on. So L is square is equals to 0.96 square plus R square. R is 0.4. R is found. So now LS square is coming out to be how much? This is 1.0816. This is exact. Therefore, LS is coming out to be 1.04. This is exact. Mention the level of accuracy. LB square is equals to 1.44 square plus 0.6 square. That is coming out to be, let me grab this thing. So 1.56 square. This is coming out to be 2.4336. 2.4336. Again, that's exact. So therefore, LB is coming out to be 1.56. And what are the units? The units are meters. So this is meter, this is meter, this is meter, this is also exact. This thing is done. That's the second thing. Now, what do we need? We need to calculate the surface area for the large cone, the curved surface area. The surface area for the small cone, the subtraction will give me the surface area. So step 3, that is curved surface area for large cone, curved surface area for small cone. The difference will be curved surface area of what? Of the frustum. And then you have to add few things. So there is also a step 4. And let me write down the step 4. That is area of circular top. That is pi into R square. Area of circular base. That is also pi into R square. And then the total surface area is that what we are looking. That is curved surface area plus the top area plus the base area. And then we will have something, and then we will have something. So now that is the strategy. So how many marks is it worth? This is worth 6 marks. Yes, it will take time. So curved surface area of the large cone. That is pi R L. This is also pi R L, but let it remain in terms of pi. This is pi, and then these two, and then over here, and then over here. So for the large, this is large, this is large, this is small, this is small. So now what are the values that we have? We have these values, which is over here. For the large, it's 0.6 and 0.6 and this thing. 1.56. So this is 0.6 and 1.56. For the small, it is 0.4 and 1.04. 0.4 and 1.04. Do not mix up the things. Now let me just work in terms of this. So therefore, the large one is how much? That is 0.936 pi. The small one is what? That is 0.416 pi. I'm working in terms of pi throughout. 0.936 pi minus 0.416 pi, take pi common, and then this comes out to be 0.52 pi. Got the idea? That is the curved surface area of the frustum. For the circular top, the radius is 0.4. For the circular base, the radius is 0.6. So therefore, this is coming out to be 0.16 pi. This is coming out to be 0.36 pi. So now we have all the things ready. So now let me highlight. We have 0.52 pi. We have 0.16 pi. We have 0.36 pi. So that's the base area. That's the top area. That is the curved surface area. Everything in terms of pi. So this is 0.52 pi plus 0.16 pi plus 0.36 pi. When you add it all up, this comes out to be 1.04 pi. Now, plug in value of pi as 3.142. So now, the total surface area, 1.04 into 3.142, that comes out to be 3.26768. This is, of course, the are rounded off value. So therefore, rounded off 3.27 meters square, correct to 3 significant figures. No harm in checking the answer. So there is the answer. Where is it? Over here, 3.27, and that is the answer. And the top answer, I think that is the other thing. That is 4. That's not our concern. And that's how we complete this paper, which is this thing. That is specimen paper 2B for the upcoming year, 2025, for May, June session, as well as for November, but you people are sitting in the May, June session. So stay tuned for more content on Mathematics with Shahab Yaqub.